Today I'm going to show you how to make a sugar-free quince and apple tart. A tart. If you don't like quince or you don't like apples, that's fine. You can use any filling you like, but this is going to show you how to make a sugar-free crust base. And then if you want to follow the rest of the recipe to make the apple filling, then that's great. So what you need is 150 grams of buckwheat flour. You can find that in any good health store. 100 grams of almond meal, so just ground almonds, 100 grams. Again, most supermarkets will stock this. 30 grams of butter, which we're going to melt. Some chia seeds. I've used about 30 grams here, but you can add some more or have less depending on what you like. Chia seeds are a great health food, so really key to get that in our crust today. And then a pinch of salt and 1 egg. So that's the ingredients for the pastry that we're going to make, which is going to be sugar-free. So I'm going to show you how to make the pastry first, and then we'll go on to filling second. First of all you're going to do is put the following: buckwheat flour, ground almonds and chia seeds all in one mixing bowl together. Just give that a little mix around, with your hands is fine, just to get them all mixed in together. Just as an additional extra, you can add some coconut flakes, which just add a tiny bit of coconut and a little hint of sweetness to your pastry. Whisk together 2 eggs, 30 grams of melted butter. I'm just going to add the egg and the butter to the dish. Just use your hands and start kneading the ingredients together. As you can see, this pastry is now starting to come together. Don't need to knead it for too long, just enough for it to combine. I'm now going to butter and line a cake tin, ready to put the pastry in. You're going to take your dough, your pastry dough, from the bowl, and you're not going to roll it out, because all you're going to do is roll it into a small ball into your hands, and then you're going to press it into the dish itself. And I'm just simply going to press it down, working from the insides, working outwards. Keep pressing it outwards. You want it the same size as about ½ centimetre deep, the depth of a pound coin. Take your time to do this. You want to get a nice even pastry base for the filling to sit into. Any extra bits, just simply press in together and it will hold and it will stick together. I'm going to take the knife and just cut around the top. Careful not to blunt your knife. Cut around the top, going as you go, a slight angle. Just this neatens up the top of the pastry, and you can see the edge starting to form really neatly, really nicely, which is great for the presentation at the end once you've cooked your pie and it's being served. Take a fork and just prick all the way around the bottom of your pastry dish, all over with your fork. We're going to put this straight into the oven for about 15 minutes. You no need to blind bake it. We're going to put it in as it is, 15 minutes or until it starts to go lightly golden brown. Once your pastry is golden brown, you're going to take it out of the oven and leave to cool for a little while. It smells really good. Leave to cool, and we're going to make the filling. To make the sugar-free apple and quince filling, we're going to make a quince paste, and then we're going to slice the apples really thinly, make a really decorative pattern on top, put it in the oven. So what you need is 1 or 2 quince. I'm going to use 1 probably. Then I'm going to say about 5 apples. Try to get apples that are roughly about the same size. It just works better for presentation that way. I've got about 30 grams of butter, some nutmeg that I'm going to grate, cinnamon, and I'm using malt extract, which is the sugar substitute. So malt extract is actually from barley, so it's not refined sugar, so it's actually much better for you, so we're going to be using that to add the sweetness. First of all is we are going to peel and core 2 of the quince. Quince does come out brown once you peel the skin off. It's not like an apple where it's quite pale underneath, it's actually quite brown in colour. Totally normal, it's exactly how it's supposed to be. We're going to chop the quince into chunks, so half it first, into quarters, core the quince. Okay, once you've cored and peeled your quince, you're going to chop these into sizes about that size. I'm going to put all of the quince into a pan. Add the butter to the quince in the pan. The butter will start to melt, and we're going to cook this for 10 minutes until the quince become really soft. once the quince, when the quince is softened, you're going to add a splash of water, pinch of cinnamon, and a grating of nutmeg. That gives it some really nice warmth and winter spice to it. A great dish for any guests you've got coming over for around Christmas time. Really will look really beautiful on the table. We're going to add 1 tablespoon of malt extract. It's really sticky, so just let it drain from the spoon into the pan, and you're going to start to stir that around. And we're just going to let that cook for another 5 minutes, just because my quince aren't quite soft enough yet. I have some really gorgeous fresh apples from Mr. Maclean's garden, who we visited in Oxford. We're going to peel and core these, and then we're going to slice them really thinly. Such a treat to have fresh apples. Thank you very much, Mr. Maclean. I'm cooking this dish for my brother-in-law comes to visit on Sunday. We're going to have roast dinner and a lovely sugar-free apple and quince tart. In terms of the presentation for the tart, it's really key for the apples to be really beautifully cut, all the same size. It just means that it fits really beautifully into the tin. I said beautiful so many times now. Quince is now cooked and they're really soft and ready to be blended into a nice thick paste. So take a hand blender, put it straight in and start blending. Splashed in my face. We've got lovely smooth paste now, which we're going to put straight on to the pastry, which is now cooled. Next is apples. I've peeled and cored apples, and we're now going to slice these really thinly and as evenly as possible. The key to this is all about the decoration and making it look really beautiful, so make sure your apples are cut really precisely. I'm going to start to arrange the pieces into the pie dish. So I'm going to put one, start on the outside, and you're going to layer them on top of each other. You like these apples? Okay, first row is done. Just press them down firmly into the tray. And now I'm going to start off with another ring inside and then perhaps one more in the middle. That's quite good actually, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's really good.
And do one more ring now. Ta-da! Lastly, I'm just going to add a little sprinkle of cinnamon on top. The tart is now ready to go into the oven. I would bake it at about 180 degrees for roughly about 20 minutes. Might need a little bit longer. Just wait until it starts to brown on top and looks really golden and delicious. And then you can take it out, let it cool, serve it with some cream or ice cream, and Bob's your uncle. If you are eating honey as part of your sugar-free diet, because some people do, some people don't, feel free to drizzle some honey on top of the apples at this point before you put it into the oven. But if you're cutting honey out as well, then don't do that, just put it straight in as it is. I've just taken the apple pie out of the oven. Last thing I'm going to do is add some pomegranate just around the edges as an added decoration, and then it's ready to eat.